Hey, so, I'm at the Oxon Hill, Maryland, post office as the closest, most convenient one-shot, one-kill place to apply for my new passport since I changed my name and all that. And although I'm sitting out here because I had major anxiety issues, you know, earlier, and then I had to go out and get my passport photos, and then I came back, and they're waiting for the lady to come back, so I'm just sitting out here, hurry up and wait, just breathing, you know. I mean, I realized when I was in the post office that, well, I mean, we know, I don't do other people very well. I don't do crowds, I don't do groups, I don't do, you know, whatever else, right? And the post office was more crowded than I would like, so I was just sort of fucking freaking out there, and then I turned my back on the post office employees facing the line, and that alone significantly lowered my anxiety, because I was then Jesse James complex. I was facing the masses. You know, there are only 3 cloaks behind me. 1, there's a counter between them, and 2, I mean, they're nice people and they're controllable variables. The full lobby full of people behind me, holy fucking shit. You know, so I was facing them and I was trying to keep my shit together, and then I ended up just fucking sitting down and just fucking, you know, I mean, because, you know, I mean, you gotta do your thing, and I'm handling shit the fucking best I can, right? And, first thing I want to say, it doesn't have a goddamn thing to do with race. It doesn't have a goddamn thing to do with race. It has to do with the, just, people. You know, society, culture. You know, and me freaking the fuck out, you know? And so there was a young guy that would have visually easily been written off as, you know, thuggish or whatever, right? Like, whatever, dude. But he carried himself well, you know? And I love the fact that me freaking out was politely and kindly overlooked. You know, I mean, I'm sitting there obviously fucking handling my shit as well as I can, right? And everybody's patient, walking around me, you know, doing their own thing, and just be like, bye. You know, I mean, I obviously wasn't doing anything wrong, I wasn't hurting anybody, and I was fucking doing the best I can, pretty sure that's visible, you know, and, you know, so I'm sitting down on the floor, like, fucking freaking out, and the young guy that would have easily been stereotyped as, like, excuse me, ma'am, she's coming back. And I'm like, oh, thank you, sir. You know, I mean, because obviously I'm sitting down on the floor trying to just, you know, gather myself, and what a kindness. It wasn't just that he did it, it was the way he did it. He was like, you know, excuse me, ma'am, you know, and it was nice, you know. And the young female clerk that is helping me, I mean, apparently the post office is by appointment only for passport stuff, and, you know, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I didn't even know it was her. I was talking to the older lady over here, and I'm like, well, I'm a disabled veteran, I have a lot of anxiety, this is important, kids, is there any way we can even please? And the lady's like, you know, back up, parallel, relevant story. I was in Harris Teeter, and there's a female type wearing military style cargos and fucking solid, you know? I mean, I talked to her because I respected her. She's not a guy, she's not a girl, she's fucking her. You know? And fucking rock on, right? You know, and you know, she was carrying herself kind of, you know, rough, you know, punk boots and stuff. I mean, honestly, I was fucking impressed, yo. And so we're going in the elevator up or in the parking lot. I don't remember where. But we're at the grocery store, and I'm like, hey, as a service member, you know, 'cause she's wearing the cargos. I mean, you know, they were all Jungle Greens, and she's wearing the cargos, and I'm like, well, I figure if you're wearing them, that opens up for me to ask, you know, and I asked why it was popular to wear it, and she's like, it's respect, you know, and I'm like, mad cool, thanks, you know, I mean, and she's like, she's obviously a grown-up hard, you know, at least knew a thing or two about a thing or two, and you know what, it was no thing, you know, she's like, mad respect, you know, y'all protected us, thank you, you know, and I'm like, oh my god, it's so nice to hear somebody say that, you know, I mean, and here's this woman, this young black woman in a, you know, Oxon Hill, Maryland, not exactly the whole DC, you know, rich shit, whatever, right? And aside from the anxiety of just groups of people, which honestly doesn't fucking matter what color you are, I got anxiety, you know? It seems like people that understand hardship more judge less, you know, and I can cite research and psych studies and blah 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 whatever. I mean, we fucking know those that have less give more, you know, we fucking know that. Those that have more don't give nearly enough, you know, because $1 to a poor person may mean the world, where $1 million to a rich person may not mean shit. You know, and so the old lady that I was talking to first, you know, when I came back after the passport photos and stuff, and she's like, wow, we were worried you got lost. And I'm like, no, I really needed a reset, you know, I really just needed a little bit of me time, you know, because doing the best I can, right? And she called the lady, and I'm like, okay, totally cool, I could go sit in my car, you know, and she came around to the outside of the secure counter area thing, and she was asking me, is it anxiety? And I'm like, that's a nutshell, yeah. And she's like, I understand, I've been there, you know, and I came up and I gave her a hug, and you know, like when it's not just a polite hug, you know, when it's two strangers, don't even know her name, probably never gonna see her after today. That was a meaningful exchange. And that's why I want to sit out here and film this now, in the moment, because in the moment, this is it. You know, I mean, I'm in a borderline shady part of town, doing the fucking best I can. And the people that have the least give the most. You know, and then as I'm sitting here, you know, thinking about all that, and Tony to New York, Tony, you know, he put me in my place today, and thank you very much, sir. He's a dog walker in the building that I've started chatting with, and he's just got a great personality, you know, just even keel, level, unflappable, solid, you know, and I mean, I'm getting better. I'm learning. I'm my memory transitioning from short term to long term is improving. And I remember bits and pieces about him, but I didn't remember he was DOD. And honestly, now in career, he was previously career DOD. And now in context, I'm learning and growing, because I'm always learning and growing. And I'm realizing, you know what, it doesn't really fucking matter. Because in the elevator I was talking to about how civilians could never understand the burden we carry. And you know what? That's true. The civilians will never understand what it's like to serve, even if you've been 20 years DOD. But you know what? We don't know what the next guy's path has been like, because we walk in different shoes. But we share a burden, and we know what it's like to care, you know? And you don't gotta serve to understand why selfish American culture is killing veterans 20 times faster than war. Because as I look around at the people I've been around today, I'm in a different neighborhood than I'm normally in. And you know what? It's just different. It's just different. Because those that are good are good. You know, the us versus them. Those that understand the pain of sacrifice and the hardship of burden and those that understand why they don't need to be sold. Because they get it. You know, we are the masses. We are the ones that want equality. We are the ones that deserve the pursuit of happiness. You know, we are the ones. The ones that go out of their way to just do some sort of kindness. That's a step. You know? Don't judge. That's a big one. You know? And it's not just don't judge on it's don't judge. It's just straight up, don't fucking judge, yo. I mean, because labels and judgments limit us. You know, generalizations are needed on common factualities. Fuck. I forgot the term. Anyway, I understand why generalities are important for macro learning. But you know, the devil and the angels and, you know, whatever, it's all in the details. Because as soon as we lose ourselves, it's all gone. It's all gone. And my neighbor that was all crying because she's like repeatedly has told me I seem like I'm possessed by the devil. She's a good person, as is my murderer and my abuser. They're good people. They just need to not judge, and they need to handle their own shit so it doesn't spill out and project. But you know what? For them to handle their own shit, it's our responsibility to help them. You know? I mean, I'm fucking in the lobby of a post office freaking out, and this all three of them, in their own little way, go above and beyond to just be fucking nice. To just be nice. To just do something. To just do the little bit you could. You know, and here in some sort of an Oxon Hill, Maryland post office, I get more courtesy, kindness, and respect inattentive blindness. We get so fucking spoiled in our lives that we wrap ourselves in that we stop caring. If we stop caring, we stop living. You know, I mean, before I got to the post office, I went to Wendy's, and there was a really nice young Marine clerk, cashier, and dude was on it. You know, and then there was this other one that's helping him, and he's like not fucking doing anything, standing there. And the guy next to me had been standing there waiting for his sugar for like fucking 5 minutes, and the other dude's just fucking standing there, and he knew it. And I'm like, and the Marine reached down again. I'm like, well, thank you, but actually, I wasn't talking to you. You're hopping and popping. I was talking to him. I was talking to the guy that's standing there not doing a damn thing. And everybody in line just sort of looked, and he just looked at me and kept right on doing not a damn thing. Okay. But yet, young Marine's fucking hopping and popping, and he's ringing up. He's got the next order. He's reaching back. I mean, and the other dude's just fucking standing there. You know, and the guy that was waiting for his sugar is an older gentleman, and had gotten a little graphic in his hitting on me, and I'm like, hey. You know, whatever floats your boat, but I'm not interested, not happening. Really certain my significant other wouldn't like it, and dude, pretty sure I'd make you cry. Dude, I adore the love of my life because I made most people cry. Just being me. Just being me. Because the inadequacy of others is not my problem. Because I care. Because I'm doing the best I can. And because I said no. Dismissed. You know? I mean, it's the juxtaposition is interesting, and it's exactly timely and important, and thank you, God, because I'm growing every day. I'm changing every day. I'm doing the best I can, and I'm figuring this out too, you know? I'm just blessed to be able to transfer knowledge into wisdom with this journey, and as soon as I'm figuring shit out for myself, I'm explaining how to for the guys behind me. Trauma's trauma. We've definitely got more of it than anybody else, probably, and proportionally, you know, and if we can do it, America's got no excuse, because you know, if we can keep our fucking shit together and still fucking care and still fucking serve, America has no excuse. And the us versus them, the uniform's just the tip of the spear, you know, and it's always been intentioned to be. I mean, this whole thing, it's not about me. This whole thing, it starts with the uniform, but it's not about the uniform. We're just leading the way. You know, I mean, it's about everyone that has gasped for air and been pushed back under. It is for everyone that has questioned who and what they are so fundamentally. They are tortured by the fact that there are so many conflicting answers, that there never seems to be any right one, because nobody's taught us how to question the question, you know. And Vietnam era taught us full well some orders need to be questioned, and the buck stops with you. You know, it doesn't matter who ordered you. You're the one that's got to live with it. You know, now we're back to Dr. Milgram's experiments, and the heartbreaking reality that not even one of them checked on the body to see if he needed help. Not a one of them cared more about the person than themselves. not even to go and face what they possibly did to another person to see if they could help. They just ran. They would shock a person, presumably to death, and just run. Uniforms lead the way. And for anybody that has gasped for air and been pushed back down, we are you.